run as we hit the sixth.
Well, it'll be the 9-hole hitter, Cade Goki, to lead things off for Little Rock. Goki, Seguin, and Harris due up here in the sixth inning. Ryan Geck bats if anyone reaches. Luke Lawrence pitched in the meeting between these two schools earlier this year. Went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Through 5 batters faced. He did have a strikeout, but he pitched a little bit to contact. They touched him a little bit. Now a little bit of a late bunt from Goki. He kind of gave up on it, then tried to offer, bunts it foul. Now he'll have to protect Lawrence with an 0-2. Goki goes up and fouls that one off. That one likely out of the zone. Another 0-2. Same result. Fouled away.
Job by the center fielder Goki to just continue to battle. But Lawrence doing a nice job on the mound, coming in for the bullpen, continuing to throw strikes. That's that consistency JB was talking about coming out of the break. Can you prove to the coaching staff, can you prove to yourself that you can go out there and consistently fill up the zone?
So far, Lawrence doing that with a little bit of help. Another foul. This one was on the bender. Nice job from Goki to stay alive.
That's a really good piece of hitting there. You finally see the breaking ball and know it's close enough. Just got to get just a piece and extend the at-bat.
Another 0-2 pitch. That one laid off by Goki. Lawrence wanted to try to go down and get it.
I like the idea, though, from Lawrence. 5 pitches already into the at-bat, all strikes. See if you can get Goki to chase, and he does a nice job of laying off.
That one stays low from Lawrence. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Laid off again. This has turned out to be quite the at-bat for Cade Goki.
Pitch number 9 of the at-bat upcoming. The first 5 are all strikes, the last 3 out of the zone.
And this is the adversity Coach Harlan has talked about with some of his pitchers. How do you respond? Lawrence wants to try to come back and get him. Goki's trying to draw the walk. It's chopped over the mound. Leonard comes in. The flip to first, and they didn't get him. Goki beats it out at first base. It was awful close. Bang, bang. But the call on the field is an infield single for Cade Goki.
That's really good hustle out of the box. Just head down and running. And here's a good look at the replay. That's a close call at first. Goes way of the Trojans.
Goki immediately went to the earmuff. Surely he doesn't want that reviewed.
A little surprised they're not taking a look at it, but
yeah, no kidding.
No damage done. At least to us, because you know how I feel about the replay.
There's a look at it in slow-mo. Goki's on the move on this one. Boy, I think they might have gotten him if they went back and reviewed it from that angle. It's very costly now against UCA. Here it is right there in frame to frame. You see it in his glove. Goki's foot's not on the bag. I think if they went back and reviewed it, Bobby, they'll overturn that call.
Yeah, now it's big as Goki advances to second base.
Yeah.
He was off and running with the pitch anyway, a ball in the dirt.
And again, that puts more pressure on Lawrence. So it was a hit and run. I say that. Seguin laid off. So it's 2-0. If it was a hit and run, he disobeyed his orders. Offered to bunt, pulled it back, and took a strike. It's 2-1. But to have your nine-hole hitter guy battle like that against the new pitcher, get on base, regardless of the call, lack of review, swipe a bag, putting all kinds of pressure.
Well, so many times we talk about, teams putting pressure on their opponent. Sometimes you put a pressure on the umpiring crew to make the correct call. Obviously that was 2 frames. We're really splitting hairs. That play could go either way. And so now you find yourself, at first base, you move to second on the ball in the dirt. Now chopper to first. You're up to third, so now you've got a runner at third base, 90 feet away from scoring, and just one out.
For Seguin, it kind of works like a bunt.
Yeah.
You push it to the right side. Shaddle gets the put out 3 unassisted, but you got the runner to third base now with 1 out, and Sammy Harris standing in. Infield's in all the way around. That shifts thing with, we've already seen some bloop singles today. That makes it a little bit easier.
Central Arkansas going to bring the infield in all the way around. Don't want to see that deficit double.
They would try to cut down on play at the plate if there was a ground ball on the infield, and Lorence with a nice job. Attacks on the first pitch. Gets the off-speed in there for strike 1. Sammy Harris is 1 for 1 today with a couple of RBIs. He's walked twice as well. Not been retired today, but he will have to work from behind with a no-ball, 2-strike count.
Harris has been a mainstay in the box with the runners in scoring position. Walked with the bases loaded in the second. Drove in a run with a single back in the fourth.
Just a little bit outside on that bender. Boy, Lorence wanted that one.
It's a good-looking pitch, 0-2.
But Harris, recognizing it out of the hand of Lorence, was able to lay off. Wastes a fastball upstairs. Top of the 6th, Little Rock scored the first 3 runs of the game. UCA with 2 runs in the 4th, but now Little Rock's threatening a missile to right field. Sammy Harris, his 3rd RBI of the game, and it's 4-2 Trojans.
So Harris gets the benefit of the doubt on the 0-2 pitch and just sits back and ropes that one through the hole on the right side. And as JB just mentioned, 3 RBIs in 4 plate appearances. 3 official at-bats for Harris today. Actually, less than that, too. Walked twice.
And once again, for Luke Lorence, a little bit of tough luck, right?
Yeah.
That ground ball wasn't hit sharply to begin the inning. Could have been an out. Not arguing that. It was a single regardless. He's not giving up a ton of big swings, but yet the run charged to him will be earned. For Ryan Geck now standing in with a runner at first and 1 gone.
I don't know if they can hear that on the field mic. It sounds like William Wallace is out there with the battle cry. Or he's wounded, one or the other.
A little Braveheart action. Hit and run this time for Little Rock. Fouled away.
See, I knew I could count on you to come through with that reference.
I got you, my man.
That's why you're one of Central Arkansas's finest.
Oh, I love it. I see what you did there.
I listen when you talk.
Took one out of my own playbook
I
there.
did.
Well, I appreciate that. You're not too bad yourself.
Not over here just playing Tetris.
You had me fooled.
I pay attention every 3rd pitch or so.
Every third. You a big Tetris guy or something?
No, I'm not.
Runner goes 2-1. Alexander throws down to second, and they beat him by a mile. The hose from Carter Alexander for the 2nd out.
We were talking earlier in the broadcast, do you test the freshman, see what he's got? Well, clearly he's got a cannon attached to his right shoulder. No chance over at first base as Sammy Harris is out by, that's Willie Mays Hayes style, 8 feet.
Plenty.
Yeah.
And now there's a swing and a miss. It gets away from Alexander, so Geck's going to reach. The pitch was high. Geck offered at it, but Alexander unable to corral it.
That's a tough break there for Lorence. Another one as he gets the swinging strike, but pops out of the glove of Alexander and able to reach first. Well, if Alexander thought that one was tipped or lost track of the count, either way, Geck takes first, and now Blaylock's got a chance with new life.
That caught stealing now is pretty big. Blaylock with a big rip at the first one. Foul tips it into the catcher's mitt.
4 homers, 13 RBIs on the season for Blaylock. A 4th out, essentially, for Little Rock here in the frame.
There's a high chopper to third base. Sermonelli with the glove, and the throw to first base is pure to end the frame, but Little Rock adds a run. They're up 4-2 on Central Arkansas from Conway. First time tonight, 5.
Memphis here, baseball. Razorbacks going to be across campus at softball.
That's right. It's a good softball program there. Both UCA and Arkansas playing very well of late. Arkansas coming off the weekend series win against number 2 Florida on the road. Beat North Florida, an ASUN foe that UCA in the same conference with. Central Arkansas had a little bit of a sputter against Eastern Kentucky, one of the best teams in the conference. Had an opportunity. Lost game 1 in a 10-inning thriller that you and I got to call, and then split the doubleheader on Monday. Rhodes lifts that one to left field. It's going to drop in front of Zeb Allen, so a leadoff single against Luke Lawrence to begin the top of the 7th for Little Rock.
Yeah, to finish that conversation about the softball squad, they really had a chance. I mean, you get a home run in the bottom of the 7th, and Eastern Kentucky's first place in your division. You think you might be able to take game 1, then obviously they split the doubleheader. That's how tightly contested the Atlantic Sun is, especially on the softball side. Just 1 or 2 pitches, 1 or 2 mistakes here and there can cost you. In Central Arkansas, because of the pitching mistakes that we've seen in this game and other games, that's why they're kind of against, backs against the wall, if you will, in the conference standings on the baseball side.
But with still time to correct things.
Yeah. A lot of baseball to be played.
Middle of the conference season as Chaplin waves and misses to fall behind 0-2. So a heavy dose of off speed to Cooper Chaplin from Luke Lawrence.
We're really just about the halfway point. Central Arkansas's played 30 games. You're allowed to play 56, so you can do the math on that. It's hard to believe we're only halfway home. A little more.
That's crazy. Seasons come and go quickly, don't they? But this part of the season is beautiful. Baseball weather down here in Arkansas.
6 more weekends of conference play left for the Bears. According to the old master schedule, we've got 1 more Little Rock scheduled. Coming up on May 6th.
That's right. They play 3. Good take from Cooper Chaplin. So Lawrence got ahead 0-2, but they had back-to-back out of the zone to Cooper Chaplin, the Little Rock second baseman. He's 1 for 3 today, singled last time against Lawrence. Fouls that one off.
So you've got the home and home. You play at Little Rock, then you play here at UCA. Game 3, do you just pull over off of 430 somewhere and play?
Burns Park, I think.
Yeah, that's not a bad spot.
Go play at, the Colts Stadium?
Yeah.
Played some American Legion there in my day. Had one of my first home runs there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I know you find that hard to believe. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Cooper Chaplin. He has worked the count very nicely. Payoff pitch with a runner going. Has to leap out of the way, does Rhodes. That likely limits his opportunity of going to third. It was hit sharply, so it would have been tough anyways. But the hit and run works perfectly, and Cooper Chaplin blasted that one to right.
Chaplin hit that one actually too hard to negate the hit and run. That one quickly gets out to the right fielder. Curtis quickly gets it back in, but Little Rock now quickly threatening as they gave up a 3 spot in the last frame. Now the Trojans' chance to tie or even retake the lead.
Luke Lawrence trying to work around the trouble. Rains squaring to bunt. Chattel's coming in all the way from first base. And we've seen Little Rock do this a handful of times. When they've got runners at first and second, nobody out, they've bunted. They did that earlier, and it actually ended up working out for a couple of runs back in the 4th inning.
Rains making just his 10th start of the season. They're willing to give up the out to move the runners into scoring position.
He pulls that one back, though, and takes it up and in. Do you like the play call to try to bunt in these scenarios?
In the final 3 innings, I do. Yeah. You're obviously running out of opportunities. You only have 9 outs left, and you've got a chance to put the tying and potential go-ahead runs in a scoring position with nobody out. I do like the idea, but you've got to be able to execute as well.
Raines offered at that one, kind of lunged out of the box just a little bit, or at least stretched to the zone, expanded on the bunt attempt. So will he square again on 1-1, or do they wave him off? He appears to be swinging. He is swinging, and he pops it up. Foul side of first, Chattel's there, battles the sun, and Lorence gets a big out to retire Raines to the pop fly to the right side.
Yeah, those are the type of at-bats that's going to drive a coach wild, because you're asking him to do a job, and Jackson Raines couldn't get the bunt down. You're like, okay, just go ahead and swing away, and then you pop it up on the infield. You don't move the runners over. Those unproductive outs in key moments are oftentimes the difference between a win and a loss. I'm not going to say that this game is going to be determined by that at-bat, but you have to be able to take advantage of those runners on base when you get the opportunity.
I mean, and you're right. I mean, it's all these midweeks and even some of your weekend stuff, you're looking for results. You just want to get better as the years goes on and you get closer to the conference tournament, and you're hoping that situations prepare you for that. Each player, Raines likely, hoping will have learned from it. Maybe trying to next time he's in that opportunity, be able to get a bunt down or drive in a run with a base hit.
The bunt opportunity did not look very comfortable.
No, it didn't.
And I think that's why the bunt was probably called off. And they said, okay, let's go ahead and hit. That's going to give us the best possibility of moving those runners over.
So with 1 out, Cade Martin will have the opportunity. Martin's 1 for 2 today. Walked his first time up in the second, singled in the fourth, and then grounded out to short his last time up. And Coach Harlan's going to come out and have a conversation with his freshman pitcher, Luke Lorence. There has been some stirring down the left field line in the Bear bullpen.
This is a key moment in this contest. You've 2-0 count to Martin, who's the 8-hole hitter for Little Rock. Runners on first and second. You've got a pesky hitter in Goki batting in the 9-hole, who's already got a couple base hits today, so you certainly don't want to load the bases with a free pass here to Martin.
No, not at all. So the conversation between Coach Harlan and Luke Lorence and the infield is done. And again, likely situational, twofold. Talk about the situation. Give your pitcher in the bullpen. Luke Connor was the arm down the way warming up. You want to give him a little bit more time to prepare and get some warm-ups in. It's a 2-0 hitters count for Martin. And a good pitch from Lorence after the visit.
And take it all the way was Martin. Great job by Lorence to nibble that outside corner, try to get back in this at-bat.
Martin with a hitter's count at 2-1 and runners at first and second base. That one gets away from Lorence, and now he's in danger of loading the bases. Cade Goki waits on deck. He's got 2 singles today. It's a big moment for the freshman. And he misses low. The bases will be full of Trojans for the 9-hole hitter, Cade Goki.
Went to the off-speed stuff there, hoping that Martin would chase. He did not oblige, and Lorence has got the bases loaded. And Cade Goki, who's singled twice and scored twice today, has been a problem at the bottom of the lineup for the Trojans.
That's what you love to see out of that 9 spot. He's squaring to bunt here. Takes the strike on the outer half. Not sure if it was a bluff or a potential safety squeeze opportunity, but with the force at home, you likely aren't going to try to lay down a bunt unless you can place it perfectly. He's bunting again, bunts it foul, and now it's 0-2.
We saw the speed from Goki the last time up as well. That was the bang-bang play that could have gone either way. He was rewarded with the infield single, but now down 0-2. He's going to have to try to find a way to battle and put the ball in play.
Likely the bunt is off now. The 0-2 upstairs. Lorence was trying to get him to climb the ladder, but Goki thought that was just a little bit too tall. Alex Seguin waits in the on-deck circle. He's due as well. 1-2 from Lorence. Curveballs foul to the plate. I've been impressed with Goki today, the way he's battled at the plate and stayed alive in a lot of counts.
Yeah, that one was well in underneath the hands, able to just fight that off and get a piece of it to continue the bat. But you're exactly right. He has not been an easy out today.
Do it again with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Curveball. He lays off of a dandy bender from Luke Lorence. That's a strikeout pitch a lot of times, but not to Cade Goki there.
That was a well-executed pitch, but just a good take by Goki. Now we're counts even up to 2 apiece.
2-2. Just a little bit up and out. And a full count now to the Trojan center fielder. No place to put him. A little bit of chirping going on between both fan bases. Trying to get a little bit amped up for their side. This is a big moment in the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the payoff. Swing and a miss! Luke Lorence with the juice, and he gets the strikeout.
It's a big pitch there from Lorence, able to come right back and just blows it right by Goki. Could not catch up to the hard stuff over the heart of the plate. Not out of the jam just yet, as the sacks are still full packed with Trojans with 2 outs now for the top of the lineup.
You're exactly right. Alex Seguin, a veteran hitter. The Trojans shortstop. He's 0 for 2 today. He's been hit by a pitch. He also bunted some runners in scoring position back in the 4th. They both ended up scoring. That was a big strikeout to Goki, though. Little Rock's a base hit away from retaking the lead. Lorence 1 out away from keeping it a 5-4 game.
Tough situation here for UCA. Just took the lead in the bottom of the last inning. Now a chance for Little Rock to get right back into it. And Bear fans certainly don't want to see Sammy Harris in the on-deck circle. They're a ball away from that happening. Harris has already driven in 3 runs today, excuse me. And now 3-0 count to Seguin.
Lorence with no place to put Seguin. He's likely taking all the way here. Got to have a strike, and there it is. 3-1.
You're sitting dead red here for Seguin. You're looking for one pitch in one area, and if you don't get it, you're taking.
That's right. Even if it means a strike.
That's right. Because the 3-2 count means the runners are going to be in motion for you, so that's not a bad thing either.
Lorence going to have another quality pitch. The 3-1 strike on the inner half. Wow, a dandy curveball once again paints the inner corner.
Seguin thought he had the cheapy RBI, but gets the call, does the home squad. Now a full count, runners are going to be in motion.
Big moment in the game. Bases loaded, 3-2, runners on the move, and it's fouled off the catcher's mitt of Alexander and into the netting. That was where you see Lorence go straight down the pipe, challenge Seguin.
Seguin was late on that. Of course, you got to let the ball travel just a little bit further. Got a piece of it to stay alive.
So we'll do it again. Big moment in the top of the 7th. Lorence trying to get it out. Seguin's trying to battle. 3-2 is skied to right. That should end the inning. Long run for Curtis now. He can't make the catch. It's over his head. Seguin's going to clear the bases with a triple. And the Trojans lead it 7-5.
We've seen a couple fly balls just continue to carry today because of the wind. I'm with you, JB. I thought that was going to be an easy play for Curtis out in right field. The bat ball just kept carrying and got right beyond the outreach glove of Curtis. And a 3-run triple for Seguin puts the Trojans back in front.
What an at-bat from Seguin. Good things happen when you put the ball in play. It looked like a routine fly to right. The wind made it an adventure. We've seen that happened a couple of times today. And Seguin rewarded with the bases loaded, bases clearing triple to give Little Rock the 7-5 advantage. Trojans still not done yet. Sammy Harris with a curveball fouled away, and now it's 0-2.
Harris has been red hot today, but what a great piece of clutch hitting there for Little Rock. Seguin has put one up in the jet stream and let the wind do the rest.
It was a nice piece of hitting. No question about it. We saw that a little bit earlier on Zeb Allen, I believe. Hit one to deep right field. Ended up being caught.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at the flags now. It's died down a few times in the contest, but it's really whipping out now to left center field. Certainly helped that fly ball get over the outreached arms of Curtis. Another day, that's a routine fly ball.
No question about it. 0-2 to Harris, lined into right field. Curtis making that one on the dive, falling down to end the inning. But Little Rock gets 3 on the triple from Seguin. They're up 2 as it's stretch time from Conway.
I don't really like committing to things. I'm scared. But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me now?
Gina Costa, looking simply stunning. What's this? She's opening her Fidelity app to buy that stock with no fees or commissions. Because what does Gina got?
Gina's got the look.
That never gets old.
Talk about easier investing.
UCA took their first lead of the game. Little Rock takes it right back. It was a big inning for the Trojans. They needed one big hit. UCA kind of flirted with danger at times, but this is the play on Seguin's triple that, boy, inches away on the diving attempt from Curtis. And baseball certainly is a game of inches, isn't it?
It really is, and that's kind of how things have gone in the midweek on a consistent basis for Central Arkansas. And Lorence is a pitch away from getting out of the jam and preserving the lead for Central Arkansas, but it's a matter of 3, 4, 5 inches, and that ball gets down. 3 runs come around to score, and Little Rock's got a 7-5 lead.
And I've always been a proponent of the guy that if you can put the ball in play, anything can happen. And that's an indication of that right there. On a normal, non-windy day, that's probably a routine fly out to right. But because of the wind, it's always an adventure. We saw that on the final out of that inning when Curtis had to kind of fall down. Yeah. He's battling the sun and the wind. Anything can happen when you put it in play.
Yeah. And it's the most simple thing to say. Obviously, it's very difficult to do. Right. But players who can consistently put the bats on the baseball can play this sport for a long time.
There's a fly ball into left center field. Blaylock's got a long way to run. He dives and makes a heck of a catch on the deep fly from Shaddle. It's an adventure every time in the outfield today, and Blaylock takes a hit away.
Blaylock hasn't had many opportunities out there in left field, ranging well to his left. Makes the play, then goes full extension.